Hey guys, it's Jess, and I'm sharing a new card with you for the Hedgehog Hollow today. I'm going to be creating a craft themed card using the March subscription box from the Hedgehog Hollow. So, this is the card that I will be creating today. I'm going to be using some of the cute little envelopes here, creating my own background using repeat stamping and doing some ink smushing. We're going to be using foam tape, thread, and heat embossing. So, let's go ahead and see how this card came together. It's really quick and super easy. Let's get started. All right, to start our card off, we're going to be doing some repeat stamping. This is just where you stamp multiple images repetitively across your background to create a background. So it'll kind of look like patterned paper, but I always start in the center of my cardstock when I do this so that I don't end up with any weird kind of openings in the center area. So I'm just using images from Crafters Embellish and Friends Who Craft Together from the March subscription box. I'm using the cute little bottle of glue, the little envelope here, and then I'll use that envelope again later as well when I do my heat embossing on my black cardstock. So I'm just using an acrylic block and some hybrid black ink from scrapbook.com to apply the stamped images to my white piece of cardstock. And then once I finished up with the glue bottle and the envelope, I moved on to this super cute little pen, and then I also ended things with the adorable little tube of paint that's kind of like squirting out. I don't know. It's real cute. I really like how all of these kind of just fit really easily together, and I was able to lay this out without really much forethought or planning. I just squeezed everything in where there was an open space, and it worked out really well. There's really no rhyme or reason for how I'm choosing where to put these, and this was kind of like it must have been meant to be that they just fit perfectly like that. I don't think I've ever had it happen quite that easily where it just, I don't know, it was like the perfect space. Have you guys ever had something happen where you didn't really plan it out, but it worked out perfectly and you're like, yeah, I meant to do that? That was a moment like that for me. All right, so the next thing I'm going to be doing is some ink smushing. So when I do my ink smushing, I like to use a little piece of clear plastic, something that's pretty flexible and bends easily. But I put my ink down onto the craft mat and then spritz it with a little bit of water. Then I use the little clear piece of plastic to pick up the ink and apply it to my cardstock rather than turning over the cardstock and plopping it into the ink like I'm doing here. I like to do that if I don't already have something on the background, but like this one, how I've already got the background stamped, I wanted to have a little more control over that, and that really helped. So I'm using my heat tool to dry the background. I wanted to make sure that it was nice and dry before I moved on to adding an additional color. These do blend together, so I wanted to minimize that just so that I had some nice coverage of the individual colors rather than kind of having everything meld together. And I find that I get more vibrant results that way. The colors kind of end up standing on their own a little bit better. Now the reason that I'm making this second piece here is just because I don't want to waste the ink that I've already put onto my craft mat. And then this guy, once I'm done with it, will just go into my drawer that I have full of backgrounds. And I'll be doing some more videos coming up on how to use up your backgrounds so they don't just sit around and not get shown the love. I've done one other video on how to use up some of those backgrounds, so I'll link to that up in the right hand corner here so that you can check that out if you are interested. All right, so once my ink smushing is done and I've created that second background as well, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the rest of my card. So I set that aside to dry, and I'm pretty sure that it air dried naturally. It did warp a little bit, but that can just be fixed by sort of gently bending the paper back the other direction. I'm using my mini MISTI here to apply some anti-static powder. Well, I didn't use my MISTI to do it, but while the paper was in my MISTI, I applied the anti-static powder so that the embossing powder didn't stick where I don't want it. And then I'm going to go ahead and stamp with the clear embossing ink using a coffee filter to catch the stray embossing powder as it falls off. And then I'm going to tap off the excess, dump that embossing powder back into the container, and then melt that embossing powder with my heat tool. Now, Now, I did decide after the fact that I didn't want to just have a square sentiment in the center of my card. I decided I wanted to do a strip down the left-hand side of the card. So I added the little envelope there at the top, and I thought it went perfectly with the sentiment that I chose. So I've got the cute little envelope, and then it says, "You inspire me, crafty girl." I thought that was really cute and is going to be super fun to send to one of my crafty friends, and I really love that. All right, so I'm going to attach my little ink smooshed panel to a white A2 size card base. This card panel, or card base I should say, measures 4¼ by 5½. And then I'm using my ginormous roll of scrapbook.com 2-inch foam adhesive, just so I didn't have to put a bunch of different pieces on there because I was being lazy. I went ahead and applied that directly to the card, but first, before I removed the tape or the backing from the foam tape, I got some pink thread. So this is just sewing thread that you would put in your sewing machine. And I wrap it around my finger a bunch of times and then sort of roll it in between my fingers to get it in a nice knot. And then I sort of unravel the knot a little bit just so that it looks a little kind of more whimsical and sticks out in fun little directions there. I did this 3 times and then I went ahead and got it positioned how I liked it, removed the backer from my foam tape, and then plopped the foam tape right on top of the thread to hold it in place. Then I don't have to worry about messy glue or trying to get the glue to stick to fibers, which is always difficult, at least for me. And that finishes off the card, you guys. You're going to see a look at the final card here. I hope you love it. It was super fast, super easy, really quick to come together in a pinch if you need something, and I hope you really liked it. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button, click the bell to be notified when I go live or when I post new videos, and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. I'll see you guys in another one really soon.